So we can talk about a little bit about where we are in understanding the materials, maybe for like, I don't know, maybe for like 10 minutes, and then we can jump into people's presentations. How does that sound? Do people have any specific questions on what we've been doing so far and the materials that I've been giving you? I know you don't have the book. I gave you a link to the full book, but any questions so far? Comments? Okay. One of the things that we did not talk about that's in the workbook are the Sustainable Development Goals, right? And actually that's not in the workbook. That was in the chapter that I gave you to read. So in the chapter, we kind of have at the end sort of a listing of what they are. I'm assuming people know the Sustainable Development Goals or not. Anybody not familiar with what they are, raise your hand. Don't be shy. Okay. So to talk about these just for a minute, so the Sustainable Development Goals, it's a universal approach towards building sustainability in our world, right? Because one of the things that we notice is we're all on the same planet together as a single people, right? So the things that we do to try to benefit ourselves can also have positive or negative impacts on others. And when you start looking at that exponentially, looking at all of the billions of people on this planet, we can cause tremendous damage to our actions. So the Sustainable Development Goals were put together collectively with the United Nations as a way to really identify universal themes that we can be working on individually and as countries to help bring a more balanced world that future generations can continue to enjoy. So it's on the back of the chapter reading that I gave you that's in our Google folder. And you can Google that and find out the Sustainable Development Goals. And there's a lot, I can give you guys a link. There's a lot of detailed information about what these are and what they look like in different places. And the idea is that this can be linked to funding, this can be linked to other partnerships, this can help get people more excited and involved with your business. A lot of you might have communities and governments and organizations that are already working in these areas, and it can give you a whole new market to hook into. So if you're already naturally, let's say I'm working with lemonade and I'm buying lemons, trees that have this like very low impact drip irrigation system that's conserving water, that might automatically bring me into a partnership with someone who's working on sustaining, preserving water systems as a sustainable development goal, right? It also might give me a whole new market access for my product where suddenly now I have low water usage lemonade, right? Almost sounds like a contradiction, right? Because lemonade has water in it. But, you know, something like that. So if I'm tying in with these goals, sometimes it creates new markets for my products as well. And if we're starting a business and we're not sure what to do, sometimes these goals can help guide us to niches in the market or areas of development that are looking for more projects. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that in. So so using the sustainability mindset automatically ties you in with these universal global goals. Cool. All right, any other questions? So going forward, so we used a lot of different pieces, right? We kind of dissected our lens. We looked at our lens, I'm going through the workbook. We looked at our lens with Summa Kamana, looking at how indigenous thinking really brings our way of, can really help us to focus how we look at the world around us in a new way. Okay, so when we're bringing the sustainability lens into our everyday lives, we can use this for the business, we can use this for ourselves. We want to kind of always get used to that idea of kind of going through, sort of doing a survey in our mind. Okay, here's a situation. Where's the love? Where's the doing? Where's the knowledge and wisdom? Where's the input from the elders? Right? Do I have this in balance? And oftentimes I'll find if I'm in an organization or a workplace that isn't working well, it becomes intuitive. Once you really get used to thinking like this, you can automatically sense, oh, this is where there's an imbalance. Usually every time you have a business that's not functioning right, or a situation where things are kind of not going smoothly, it's because there's an imbalance in this model, okay? I've been doing a lot of work here in the United States with Black Lives Matter, where we're looking at bringing more awareness to diversity and minorities in our populations who have always been marginalized. And a lot of the organizations I find where people are having a really hard time with staying involved, staying positive, feeling useful, they're missing the moon eye. Okay, so like the organization, here's my moon eye. So the organization I'm in, one of our main things is to have fun. And you think about how can you have fun if you're trying to, you know, defend the human rights of others? Well, you need to look at ways to have fun. And then suddenly it doesn't become a burden anymore, right? It becomes something like uplifting. So that's something to think about. And even in your own life, especially as entrepreneurs, it's so easy to burn out. And usually we burn out because we're stuck in one area of our sumak kamana cycle. Maybe we're stuck more in the rurai, we're just doing and doing, and we're forgetting everybody else around us, right? And when we're in the ushai, which is the elders and the power, those are also those key partners. And I think that's the most important thing as entrepreneurs. A lot of times we're so focused on what we want to do, and we want to save it and guard it and not let anyone else take it from us. And that's a mistake, because that's where the people that can help and support us are going to be. And then some of you guys already took the survey for Circles of Sustainability. And one of the things that I'm working on, I have a conference next week. How many of you guys know of B Corps? Have you heard of B Corps? It's international.
No.
All right, so I'll send you guys a link for B Corps. I'm going to make my little list of links. So we're going to do B Corps. We're going to do the Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, what I'll do is when I have a moment, I'll get into the chat and try to send it to you, or else I'll just stick it on the syllabus and copy a new syllabus into our folder, so you'll just have it right there. Okay, so all the links are in one place. If you notice, I keep updating our syllabus and adding links to different things. So anyway, so B Corps is a model, sort of like fair trade. How many of us know what fair trade is? How many of us don't know what fair trade is? Okay, all right, cool, because I had mentioned it yesterday. So I'll send you a link to that too, and that was also in your readings, right? So fair trade is kind of similar to B Corp, where it's a model, or it's a certification that people pledge to. So they say, I'm going to produce my products in a way that people are valued, and people are paid on time for the work that they do, and they're paid a good price, and the earth is taken care of, and the cultural identity is respected. And here's my proof. I'm part of this organization. I've paid hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars in membership fees to have, you know, proof that this is really true, that I'm telling you that I'm doing these things. The organizations will have people that go and verify and reporting. So they say, yes, this is true. This really is a product that's made in an ethical way. And then I can put a little logo on my products that hopefully consumers recognize, and they'll feel more confident in buying my product, right? So it's sort of like a marketing thing, but it's also, you know, a way to signal to people like, hey, you know, I'm really doing my work here. And then B Corps, their symbol is like a bee with a little circle around it. That's a newer program, and it's a little more integrated, where they also not only look at how do you purchase your products, but how do you run your organization? Where do you do your banking? Is it a local cooperative bank? Where, what kind of policies do you have for your employees? Do they have health insurance, and do they have vacation? What is your waste management? What is your energy production? So it's a lot more complicated, but it's global. It started here in the United States, now it's global. Fair trade started in Mexico, went to Europe, and now it's global. So with B Corps, I'm working with them because they have a little bit of unbalance, right? They've been struggling and fighting and, you know, keeping themselves going. And when you're in that mindset, that means you have an unbalance. There's something wrong. And what B Corp is missing is the community, because they've always been looking at themselves as, we are these entities that do this work, and we are exclusive in how we run our businesses. And Patagonia, Ben & Jerry's, those are all businesses that are B Corp businesses. So one of the things that I'm doing, I'm going to a conference, I'm presenting a paper at a conference next week, And what I'm proposing is that the B Corps themselves get involved in conducting a Circles of Sustainability assessment with their local community. Okay, so it's not necessarily their customer base, but what we're doing now is we're placing the B Corp within the context of the place that it's working in. So they're not this little island of one company doing it all great all by themselves. Instead, they're integrated in with their local community. And what that can do is maybe it might increase sales, okay? But what it's going to do is make it more integrated and create more opportunities, because they might have practices that they're using that people in the community could benefit from. And the community might have things that can be lent to these organizations also to make them more connected, right? Because right now these B Corps are working sort of as islands all by themselves in their little organization. So that's my thing. And I want to see this tool adopted to help B Corps be more integrated in their communities and be community members, and not just these isolated organizations. So we'll see what happens, okay? And what that does, when we look at our business model canvas, again, that's going to be helping with the useful people, right? The helpful people part. And that also builds a little bit more of the Munai, the love in our organization, and that also brings in the Ushai, that outside wisdom and knowledge. So it's going to strengthen our organizations. So these are really cool to use. I haven't started using them as internal assessments for companies. I might start doing that. I'm not sure yet. But right now I'm using these as a way to get organizations and communities more integrated with each other. Okay. So, and then this thing, our permaculture piece, right? You want to always think about that, right? Think about who's your roots that are grounding you, what's that trunk that's holding you up, you know, and keeping that customer focus and working in that feeling of abundance, all the time abundance. Just think there's so many apples they're laying on the ground. There's so many apples, wild animals and other insects and stuff are eating them, right? Not just the humans, and it's doing more than just propagating a tree, right? So always keep thinking about what else can I be giving to others, you know, other than just thinking about your bottom line of your business. Okay. Like one of the things with my sweater company, what I do is I buy back people's old sweaters and gloves and things they don't want, and I give them credit for their product. And then I send the old worn out pieces back down to Bolivia, because the women will unknit those materials and reknit them again. And what they do is they make blankets and sweaters for orphans, right? Children that don't have any parents. So they're recycling those materials into other products, you know, and that's just something that we do. So I did that by looking at the apple tree, right? I was looking at the compost. What's my waste when I make an alpaca sweater? Well, the waste is when the sweater is eaten by moths or ruined, or if someone doesn't want it. Well, how can I take that back and really make sure it's being used, right? And then the last piece of the lens that we have is the solidarity economy, which I love, because this one it's kind of easy, right? It's sort of a checklist. Oh, did I do this? Did I do that? Did I talk to this organization? Did I think of things this way? So it gives you resources that you can reach out to. And I love the idea of barter and volunteerism. All of my businesses always have an element of volunteerism and barter. And the place where I get my volunteers oftentimes is students, okay? Because students need practical experience. They need to apply what they're learning. They need to build their resume. They need to have contacts in the business community. So creating opportunities for students to go and help a company become more sustainable, or help a company report, examine, research, think about something, is super useful both for the company and for the students, okay? So I just had my students, for example, work with Badger Balm. This is a local company. They're a B Corp, and they do salves made out of olive oil, right, for your skin. And these are tins, right? So these are mined from the earth. These are metal. Yes, they can be recycled, but there's a lot of energy that goes into taking this metal out of the earth, melting it, making it into this tin for this product. And we're looking at, well, is there something else that we can do, you know, besides this tin? And then they also have this, which is plastic. And we're like, well, can we do better than that? So the company didn't have time to look up this information, but my students went and spent a semester researching other packaging. And they found a corn-based plastic, they found cardboard. They found multiple uses and a refill program for the tins. So that was helpful for the company, right? And then it was also helpful for my students because they got experience, the company got new suppliers and new ideas, and it all worked. Okay, and that's in the area of volunteerism because the company had to say yes to that opportunity. The company had to have the mindset of education is important because it took time. They had to meet with my students, they had to think about what was going on, they had to answer questions, you know, it was work. So having that mindset of volunteerism, creating opportunity for other people to get involved, even if it's not in your initial business plan, but being open to having those things happen is part of this idea of solidarity economy. Cool? So when we take all of these different ways of thinking and we smush them all together into the lens, right? What we come up with is this general concept on page number 7 in our workbook, okay? And this, when you go forward, can become sort of your shortcut checklist, right? As you're looking through your business and you want to see, well, how am I doing if you're going through your business model canvas, for example, and you're looking at your channels, right? How are people accessing your product? You can go through these 4 different lenses while thinking about channels, right? How do people access my product? And then I can look at resources, right? Well, the supply chain management, what are the inputs? Recognizing everyone that touches it, recognizing the community impact. So this is where, for example, my Pakistani student came up with the idea of having bicycles delivering the food that they were cooking on campus, right? Because I had a student that made a midnight snack program that was very successful that was delivered by bicycle. Even in the snow in the winter, they were crazy. But they did that by looking at resources, right? At the same time, you're looking at health, so a participatory democracy, democratically engaging shareholders. So the people that worked for the company, that made the food, that delivered the food, for example, all together decided what was the menu items. They were cooking their parents and their grandparents' food recipes, right? So they were making samosa, right? Samosas from India. They were making, I forgot the Pakistani, they had a Pakistani food. I forgot what it was. But anyway, they were making their own ethnic foods from home and students loved it, right? But that was the health. That was the workers being given the opportunity to say, this is what I want to make, right? Instead of the student dictating, you do this, you do that, because I'm the boss and you're the worker. Okay, so having that democracy gave them more flexibility in what they were offering, and it also built that munai, right? That love, because people were making recipes that they really enjoyed making. And then we have policy, which is being the example and being an advocate. So they were really being very outspoken about their carbon footprint and being very transparent about how much energy was being used to make the foods and deliver the foods, okay? So that's really good to think about, right? How can you become, not just doing good things for yourself, but sharing those ideas with other people. And then the last piece was exchange. So again, if I'm just thinking about delivery and I'm thinking about exchange, it's diversify methods of exchange through barter and volunteerism. Well, not all of the staff members were paid in that business. Some people just volunteered to deliver the food because they thought it was fun to go and meet with other people at night and hang out. So that was kind of cool. So there was some volunteerism, there was some barter. Some people were delivering food in exchange for other people to help them with their homework, right? Or to help them with a project that they were working on. So not everybody was paid. Most of the money went back to the food and to renting the space and to the cooks, but the delivery people weren't paid unless they wanted to be paid. It was an option. So they could create their own method of payment, or they could, request money. But a lot of people didn't request the money. They requested services instead because it was more fun, and that was the culture of the business. Cool? So every time you're looking at any aspect of your company, you can always bring in this, right? These 4 different ways of looking at it, which is based on the different pieces that we went through step by step. Good? All right, so that's kind of the overview of everything. So let me turn it over to you guys, and let's hear some of the things that you came up with. Let's learn about some of these great enterprises that you're thinking of. So um, I'll,
Uh,
I'll let you
Dr.
guys
Tamara?
decide what order you want to go in, or I can pick names.
All right, Dr. Tamara.
Can you
I
introduce
hope.
yourself first, please?
Yeah, okay. This is Uzair. I'm from IBA. I'm currently pursuing an undergrad degree from IBA.
Hmm.
Yeah, so do I need to pitch in again, Sir Asgar?
Have you guys all heard each other's pitches already?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had a
we
rehearsal today in our morning class.
Okay, so I didn't. So if you want to share some with you, I can give you some feedback. Were you guys able to give each other feedback on your ideas?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we were able to
Okay.
give the feedback. All right. Before I start my pitch, Dr.
Hmm.
Tamara, I am having a single request. Uh, Representing all of my classmates, the workbook that you have provided, it's amazing. The efforts that you have made are really commendable, and we have never come across such kind of activities and notebook and trying to find out a sustainable model. A single request that I would wanted to make in front of you was, can you give us some sort of solved notebooks that you have come across in your past experiences? The students, if you have taught some, they may have solved this workbook, so that we may find out a good example of how to solve this notebook. Are you getting my point?
Yeah,
Are you
usually
having?
we use the workbook as a guide in our classroom. So it's almost more like a notebook than a workbook, because really the,
Okay.
the the ultimate thing that we're presenting is our business. And a lot of times we'll work in small teams, we'll work on posters on the wall. So the workbook is more like a guide. It's not
Okay.
something that we completely finish. I think one of the parts in the workbook that might be confusing is the blue ocean strategy, because we didn't go over it, right? And like page number 16 has, draw your blue ocean. You're like, what? So I've been giving you guys some links to resources, that go back to where this comes from. Normally my students are reading these other resources, but that would be a whole semester class. So I guess
Yeah.
a short answer for your question is, I do not have a completed notebook to share with you, a workbook. Sorry. But the idea is that it guides you. It's like notes. It captures your idea and guides you through your process. And the final thing that you would have is your pitch and your business. So that's usually what I collect from my students when we look at grades. We look at what's that final pitch. Does that
Uh,
help?
Was it
Sorry, I got disconnected. Can you come again, please?
Yeah. So I said usually we use the workbook more as a notebook, right? So it's a place where we're
Okay.
jotting down ideas. Um, a lot of times we're taking these projects and we're putting them on the wall, or we're working in teams together on a single project. So everybody's contributing in different ways. So a lot of times the book is just handwritten. It's a little bit sloppy. It's not like a very formally designed, workbook that you could share with people and would make sense, right? But what it does ultimately is help the students to build that final project and the pitch. And that's what they get graded on in my class.
Okay, okay, I
So I
got it.
don't really have like, the perfect workbook to share, but
Yeah,
that's a
we
good
just
idea.
we
Maybe I'll
just
make
need to.
one as an example. That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
please. Yeah,
Okay.
please, if you can.
Okay.
It will be easier for us to solve it out very much comprehensively afterwards.
Okay, that's good. I'll do that based on the lemonade stand. That's a great idea. What I'm
Okay.
doing next month, I'm working with my college and we're creating a web page to put all of this information. So I'll make sure I have a workbook like that, and I'll let your instructor know when that's ready, so you guys will have access to that.
okay?
Thank
I
you.
think Uzair is disconnected. Anyone else would like to go for the pitch? Nimi, can you start? Uh, so, as an icebreaker, please. Nimi, are you there?
Sir, I want to start.
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So I think Isha wants to go first.
No, Nimi, you
Yeah,
go first.
Isha will be
All
next.
right. All right. All right. Hello, Dr. Tamara. Uh, Here is my elevator pitch. I hope I will complete it within 90 seconds. So let me start. Okay.
I can do my timer.
Sure. Okay, let me start with the question. Can you eat a cake laden with sugar and cream right away? I'm sure many of you can, right? Can your parents or grandparents can consume that cake too? We doubt it. So here's the problem. In Pakistan, the rate of diabetic prevalence is staggering high. 17% of population or 35 million plus individuals have diabetes in Pakistan, in comparison to 8% prevalence rate or 30 million plus patients in India. Almost all of them are prohibited to consume most of the bakery items or baked goods, a major missing in life. No? So, what's the solution? Well, this is Nimi Siddiqui, a food technologist by qualification, and I am working on a range of baked products with my knowledge, experience, and the support of industry experts. Such products can be consumed by all such diabetic patients without any fear of spiking their insulin levels. My target market is consists of the patients of diabetes, high cholesterol, and obese people who are not allowed to consume baked products. I'll be making alliances with doctors and nutritionists to reach my target customers while establishing the trust. Later on, I'll be selling my products through online platforms, pharmacies, and grocery stores. So now, not only you, but your parents and grandparents would not have to avoid their favorite baked products due to the fear of any health issues. Thank you.
Very good. I like the market that you're reaching out to where it's the doctors, right? It's the frontline healthcare providers that you're going to be targeting. That's really good because they're the ones that are going to be prescribing the diets, right? For their patients. Nice job.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So where do you have sustainability built into that?
We have Isha.
Um, No, Dr. Tamara is asking about sustainability. I
Yeah.
think I'll be using the products, the ingredients that are usually not very much in use, and which we can get into the utilization like natural sweeteners and other such products. And they will eventually be, and apart from that, I'll be taking help of men who are working from home so that they can work together and they can bake the goods as per the recipe or the directions provided. And this is a sustainability aspect that I brought into this.
Oh, good. I like that. Right. Creating new incomes from people and not making them leave their families to be able to work. That's excellent. I love it, especially with COVID, right? Good idea.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can we have Isha next, please? Isha, can
Hi
you?
guys. Hi guys. I'm Isha, and I've done my bachelor's in gender studies. And today I'm going to propose my idea, which is food for all. The main idea behind this name is to become the ultimate healthier choice for snacks, which would be easy on the pocket and healthier than all the other snacks available in the category of the market. The range will include non-perishable binge eatables and low-carb food products, as people who are diet conscious or sugar patients can fulfill their craving for snacks and fast food. And it is currently will be ready to launch within 2 months online through my website. Main marketing tool will be social media platform. Thank you.
How do people get your product? How is it delivered? Do they buy it in
Uh,
stores or?
I will take my husband's help to deliver the products.
So it'll be door to door?
Yes, door to door.
Okay, so something you might want to think about is a subscription service where maybe people sign up for a monthly delivery, or they sign up for 2 weeks, or they can pre-buy in bulk a quantity of product and schedule in advance when their deliveries might be, right? So that
It
way you
might.
can get orders in a larger quantity, so you're not just selling one piece at a time.
Yeah, it might be, but I haven't think about this yet.
Okay. And where's your sustainability?
I will use pure products and uh, uh, sugar-free things which carry low sugar and pure butter kind of thing. And I think this is my sustainability.
Okay. And sometimes having a relationship with a producer is good, right? For example, the Badger folks, they have one family in Spain where they buy all of their olive oil from. So that family knows that every year they're going to get a very big order for their olive oil for this product. And this company knows that they will always have the best quality olive oil. So by having that like one dedicated producer for some of your ingredients, really helps to strengthen your sustainability and also benefits the people that would rely on you as a customer, so they don't have to just hope that the olive oil market will be good and that they find buyers. They always know that Badger is going to buy product from them. So good. Any others? How about some of our gentlemen?
Yeah, can we have Diane and Waleed next, please? Tamara, do we have time?
I
Because
think
I have.
we probably have time for one more. Is that okay, folks?
Can we take
Yeah,
two?
hello, Tamara. I was a bit late, but
Hello.
I was listening for the past 4 or 5 minutes on the way. So, very good. Thanks a lot for your contribution. So, over to Asghar. Let's be quick, and I will do the remaining then. Welcome, Mada, Uzair, Murtaza, Aina. What a
Can we?
wonderful hat. Wow, Murtaza. Gee.
And I'll
Waleed, please
also
go
be
ahead.
doing a longer talk next week, and I'll be talking about this project as well. So if you want to listen
Yes,
to that's
that would be
another opportunity to kind of review these materials more.
exactly.
So
Who's
Waleed
the
is
next?
next.
Okay.
Waleed bin Shaheen.
Basically the idea that the business idea that I thought of was of opening a pet daycare in Karachi. Uh, because in Karachi there are no there isn't any pet care place where like people could leave the dogs or whichever pet they have, normally cats or dogs, at our daycare and then go for their work. Because a lot of people in Pakistan, they do not buy dogs or they do not like keep dogs or pets, because just because of this, because if they have to go out and they have to like keep the dog at their home, and it would like start feeling lonely or depressed. So I will cater to that market and make a place, own a place where it depends, where it will make a whole pet area where all our pets will be like kept. There will also be a play area for them, like a recreational area for pets.
Okay, and where's your sustainability in that?
And the whole idea of it came from, because I am also a pet owner. I have kept dogs, have kept lots of pets for, and have been keeping them for the past 15 years. So that experience for me, and because of this, I have a lot of connection in this circle where people like dog owners or pet owners, they keep in touch with each other. And I know the basic needs that a pet needs, the basic needs of a pet. And I will apply those in this business.
Mm-hmm. Do other people have ideas of how we can build a little more sustainability into that model? So we're looking at the
Sustain.
well-being of the animals, but what about our community and our planet?
The sustainability issue is still to be resolved. The
Yes.
waste of the fats, where will it go?
Can we use
And
as fertilizer?
Yes, fertilizer.
fertilize. And where will you get the food from? You will purchase costly food from the market, and that food is chemical, just not good for
No,
animals.
obviously, sir, I will not purchase that food. I will do my market research first, and I have kept pets before, so I know which feed is better for their health. Secondly, and I will be purchasing in bulk, which will also reduce my cost.
So some of the things that we do here, and there's been research studies, and it's very helpful, is pets have a therapeutic effect on people. And here in the United States, I think all over the world, the idea of therapy animals has become more and more popular. And something that I've seen done that has been successful is a service where people can bring pets. And we even have this at the colleges during finals, right? Right now you guys are in finals, everyone's stressed out. So we actually have a service that'll bring dogs to the campus for people to play with, to just relax during finals week, because it helps to reduce people's stress levels. And I've seen programs where pets will go to nursing homes. So something that we have here is as people get older, they'll go into assisted care facilities where nurses are taking care of the elderly. It's a little bit terrible, but the pets make them feel better, or children in a hospital, right? So people who are a little bit isolated, but they're in an institution, bringing in pets for a short period of time for them to play with them really helps other people to feel better. So that might be maybe an additional thing that you can do, since you have this resource of well-trained and loved pets, at your facility.
Yes.
Well, what can you do to help improve the well-being of others, by maybe giving them an opportunity to play with the pets?
And
Okay,
Tamara, at the
so
same time, we have to take care of the pets as well, give them their psychological and physiological needs. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
we suppress them and keep them contained in a small place, the dog and the cat. Does that covers in sustainability? To take care of the needs of the dog itself, psychological needs. Maybe if we contain him in a small room and he gets, you see, I don't know.
So usually pets benefit also from seeing other people because they like the socialization, but it depends, right? So you could have different levels, of your program. And if you have a pet that does well being alone, then maybe it doesn't need to be in a pet community.
yes, we will first
Right?
do
Or
a
maybe
full
you can have
personality
other
analysis.
services where people will go to someone's house and check them, or now we have all the cameras so we can just watch our pets at home. But also
Yeah.
you can think about employing, right? Are they underprivileged people that maybe you could employ that can help take care of the pets, or be dog walkers, or right, maybe people who
Yes.
have had a difficult background and can't find other jobs. You can specifically look to hire those types of people, right? Or
Yes.
people who have different abilities. So that could also be a way to build a social importance to your business.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Tamara,
Can
we
I go
have a
next?
lot of people requesting to pitch in, so
Can I go
whatever you
next?
suggest.
Okay, how about 3 more pitches? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
So
Quick one.
can I, sir,
Yes.
can I give a quick pitch?
Yeah, go ahead,
Obvious.
please.
Okay, sir. So basically, I'm Mohammed Ayn Khan, and what I bring to you is Ata Agri Organic Farms. So we plan on being the pioneer organic vegetable and fruit growers in the vicinity of Faisalabad.
You have a
Our,
wait. You have a terrible echo when you speak. Can you do something better with your microphone?
oh wait.
That's much better.
Okay, it's better now.
Yes.
Okay, so I am Mohammed Ayn Khan, and what we bring to you is Ata Agri Organic Farms. We will be pioneer in the organic vegetable and food growers in the vicinity of Hyderabad. Our very proposition is to be healthy ecosystem by growing and providing organic solutions to the people of Pakistan. We will be making around 1 million TPR to start a business, which will be divided into two costs. One of them will be the startup cost, and other will be going to the capital cost. The capital cost includes machinery and infrastructure that we require at our farm. So what the people we provide to cater is a small niche in Pakistan which are already looking for organic household grocery solutions, and there's not much competition in it. The team will be consisting of me and my father, because my father brings a lot of agricultural experience from the past experiences. So we are at our organic farm building organic solutions for Pakistan, starting from the war in Faisalabad, and then we plan on expanding to the different cities, Islamabad and Rawalpindi.
Okay, so I think I got most of that. So you and your dad are starting an organic farm, and that's kind of a new area in Pakistan, the offering of certified organic food, right?
Yes.
Who are you selling to?
we'll be selling to the niche, like it will be probably the SCCA and SCCA class who will be catering, because they'll be the only ones who financially afford these products. Because when you're producing organic goods, they are a bit more costly than normal ones, because you can't get those volume of yields from the same amount of land.
Okay, so are you in need of startup money?
We might need in the start of money. Probably I need to get that from my father or someone, because that's one of the reasons of keeping him in the team, because he brings the experience and the resources. And I won't, as compared to someone else starting the business, he might need a lot of more money, because he might not be owning agriculture land, which I do own
So are
in a
you
family.
familiar with, do you know CSA, Community Sponsored Agriculture? Are you familiar with that?
No,
So with
I do know a
CSA,
few
that's a
initiatives in
really nice
Pakistan.
model for small farms that are getting started, you know, that are working with multiple types of produce, right? Because you're probably going to be making many different kinds of vegetables. And what you do is you pre-sell. So you decide,
Okay.
well, I'm going to be able to produce so and so much quantity of food during our growing season, and the market value of this food is $300, let's say, for one person, right? If they were to buy their portion of this food, and then you can decide how many portions you think you're going to produce. So maybe I'll say I can produce, you know, 500, no, I can produce 50 portions of food, you know, during the course of the summer, and people buy in advance. So they could say, well, that'll cost $300. And then people in advance will pay you the $300 each, right? So if you have 50 people each paying $300, that's $1,500. So then you can go and get all of the equipment, get what you need, and grow that food. And then every week, once the food starts getting ready, they come to your farm to get the food, or you might have a central drop-off point where they can come to collect the food, and they all get their little box of whatever it is that you're harvesting that week. And then something that you can do, because it's expensive and we don't want to, you know, be excessive, we want to be inclusive. So maybe you can have some volunteers.
So, I lost you. I lost you, Tamara.
Food.
Tamara, I lost you. Can you repeat the last part of being inclusive and not
Sure.
exclusive?
Yeah, so something that you can do also, because you want to have your food be inclusive, not
Yeah.
exclusive, right? And we know that it
Okay.
costs more money to do the organic production on a small scale, but maybe you can
Right.
have workers come in as volunteers, and in exchange they get a reduced cost for their food.
So
Maybe they get it
basically,
for
so
half
basically, I
price.
do. So basically, I do plan on doing this. Like the people who will be helping me in that farm, in that specific area of Faistabad, they will be getting those organic farms at a really low cost. The people
Mhm.
who are working there, so they're going to be probably from the bottom of the pyramid. People who will be working at the field, and they'll be getting. So it benefits both, but in a different manner.
Yeah, that's good. It sounds fantastic.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Tamara, can we have Permada from Thailand to go
sure.
next? And
Yes, Permada, Swadika.
As I didn't do the presentation this morning, can I do like the full version?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll just say everything okay.
Can you say in 90
So,
seconds? That's fine.
yeah. Okay, so hello, my name is Paran and my business is HostBuddy. As nowadays, people are spending a lot of time on their works and they're having no time for their friends and their family, even though they're trying to have fun with their movies, but some people just cannot get their head out of it. So this is where HostBuddy stepped in. HorseBuddy Club is a horse farm where people can spend their vacation on. It's located at Mae On, Chiang Mai, which is the perfect place in Thailand. Not only horses, but we also have dogs, pig, lizard, and cat, and other kinds of animals in the future. We also plan to cooperate with cow and elephant farms nearby. And why should you invest in our business? We will engage people to animals and nature and make them giving more values to the environment, bringing people and new generation out of their phone, putting them into nature by like the fun and relaxing activities. Also, it can also improve people health. And from manufacturers in the next 10 years, people might like pay less attention to this, but if we can help each other, it will create a big change. So are you interested? Reach me by my email, paran@mail.com. I'm Paran and this is my business idea. Thank you.
Whoa, super.
Yeah, that's great. So that's agro-tourism, right? A big growing industry. I was working with a woman here in the United States who was doing a lot of work with that. One of the things that they found, with us, agriculture keeps getting bigger and bigger and the small farms get knocked out, and they're always looking for things to keep themselves alive. So this one farm was doing agro-tourism, kind of similar to what you were doing, where they made like a very nice environment and people could come and be catered to, right? I can take you for a horse ride. I can get you on a nice, you can pet my animals. But what they found was more effective was when they let the people do it themselves. So people love to go there and learn how to groom a horse, right? How to clean a horse's foot, how to clean the saddle, and they found that the people loved learning. So having learning workshops are kind of cool. And then people can also, teach other people workshops. So it almost becomes sort of like an empowerment thing where they're not just passive recipients, but they're learning something new, they're trying things out. On their farm, they also raised animals for food. So they would teach people slaughter. They used to just have like a big cookout, where they would cook a sheep, but they found people were more interested in knowing, how do you kill the sheep? How do you, clean it? How do you prepare it? And they had a lot of people signing up to do workshops on that, like learning. So then the idea was that they could take those skills back to their own homes and be more sustainable in how they live. But yeah, it's a great start. I like that, kind of using the resources around you.
That's a wonderful adding idea. Thank you so much.
Do you have any other ideas of how you would build sustainability into your current program?
I think, I would create network by adding more people to it. And so I would do it more like volunteer and maybe be helping each other. I think it's, if everyone like do it by heart, maybe it's more like they're feeling more engaged to my business.
Okay.
Yeah.
And something that a lot of our small farms do here is they partner with each other. For example, there's one farm near me that does draft horses, so the horses can pull carriages. So someone can contract them to come to their farm with their horse and carriage so that other people can have that experience. So kind of bringing in other partners to your place, so you're not doing all the work yourself, but, maybe hiring someone local to do the food and the catering for you. Right? So you're building more opportunities for other people and also improving the experience of the people that are coming to your place without giving yourself extra work.
Yeah, like giving more works to other people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So contracting local people.
That's
nice.
Yeah. I think it's really good too, because like local people in Chiang Mai, they're having some kind of traditional thing that maybe I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thank you so much for the idea.
Great.
Thank you.
Dr. Tan, can we have the last one from, sir, we have a lot of requests, so can you choose anyone from, we have Mikhail.
I can maybe carry on for another 15 minutes after Dr. Tamara leaves so that we can finish it, because
Okay, sir.
What is your opinion?
Yeah, I think that's good because I have another project. I need to make a video. I'm doing a presentation at an Academy of Management conference. I wrote a chapter.
I'm also joining that. Oh, wow.
So I wrote a chapter about Indigenous entrepreneurship, which is really interesting because when we look at entrepreneurism from a Western perspective, the goals and objectives of how people work are very different than when you look at it from an Indigenous perspective. And it reminds me a little bit of the way that you speak of the Bible and religion and the stories of our ancestors, because that gives people strength in the Indigenous cultures. They have a very long belief system, and that gives them more strength to believe in their business and more resilience to keep moving forward that I find in traditional Western societies people don't have. And so I wrote a paper about that, and I'm going to make a video now to submit to the conference to talk about that.
Oh, wow, wonderful. So let's have one more presentation before we allow Dr. Tamarin to leave. We were not allowing her, but as a special case, we will allow her to leave. And so here we go, one more presentation. And how many are left, Asghar?
We have like 4 or 5, but we can go.
I can finish it. It's 90 minutes,
Okay.
90 seconds each. So we can
So,
finish in 5 minutes, man, 6 minutes, but we will let Dr. Tamara leave.
Aina,
Yeah.
can you go next, please?
Aina, please.
Okay, sir. So my name is Aina, and I'm studying international business management with a minor in trade at Stanford. And this is my pitch. Is it fair that people are unable to make it far in life because of a language barrier? Namibia is a country with an official language that is only spoken by 3.4% of the population, leaving 96.6% of the population at a disadvantage. This very same factor is a contributing factor to our high unemployment rate of 20.27%. My name is Aina Nupulebo, founder of Educator, catering for the language needs of a community of underprivileged communities in Namibia, especially Walvis Bay and Swakopmund. With my experience in leading, coordinating, and planning successful English camps in Thailand, I plan to bring this back to Namibia, giving these communities the key to unlock opportunities by teaching them language, English, through arts, games, and storytelling. Shaping a community that is able to communicate and have knowledge in a new language and creative thinking. Our main aim is not only to develop language or teach people, but our aim is to foster an environment where people know that they are loved and cared for and that they have a purpose in life. Help us shape the leaders of tomorrow, and we will help you have a labor force that is literate. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Very well done. And I think you had that piece where the people can then go and be promoters for businesses by speaking English to potential customers. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
That should be included in the pitch.
Okay.
And that also can be revenue generating. So that's a very important sustainability piece right there, you know, having that. Now I have the language and I'm also using it and I'm benefiting others and I'm, you know, you can have those companies sign up and pay for your people to come and do that English language promotions for them.
Thank you.
Yep. And still be nonprofit.
Okay, so great. So Aina, how would you, so it is basically you're offering them a purpose, a meaning in life, is it? Great.
Yes, sir.
Great, great. And to do sort something, work for a bigger cause. And
Yes.
So how will you ensure sustainability?
So basically on the sustainability side, because it is a nonprofit organization, we have to generate funds through grants and donations from the community and business enterprises within the community. But one thing we are willing to do is take recycled paper from companies instead of them trashing their paper. And then secondly, every person that goes through our mentoring or teaching program gets to volunteer as a mentor for the next younger people coming in, so they get to teach them what they have been taught. And then thirdly, it will not be a station thing, but it will be a mobile English camp, so meaning we can go out into these communities and find an open space and just set up and start teaching English. So we just attract anyone that's walking past or so forth. So we will use mats that are usually made by older people in the community, and they usually use some like type of stray and hay, something like that they build themselves. So that is one way of a few ways of the sustainability in the model.
Wonderful, great. Any comment by our faculty, Tamara? She's already said, okay.
Yeah, very well. Yeah, very well thought out. There's a lot of real positive connections there with sustainability.
Great. So I think we can give you leave so you can do your work, and we will finish the remaining ones quickly. Next,
Okay, and I'll
Asraj.
see everybody next week, maybe. You guys can come to my talk. I'll be speaking an hour about this stuff. And also, I had a great suggestion from one of the alums was to complete the workbook, have an example of a completed workbook. And what I'm working on with my college right now is creating a page of resources that we should have ready in August. And I'll also include that in here, a completed workbook, so people have that as a reference to see what it really looks like when it's done.
Great. Great, wonderful. And once again, thanks a lot for helping us and helping our students grow.
Okay,
May
thanks,
God
guys. Great
bless
projects.
you.
Keep
Thank you,
going.
Dr.